Hiya folks, we like fish and chips.
Yeah.
And we love traditional pie mash, London pie mash. I wonder what the main supermarkets can do.
Yeah.
Can they compete?
I sure think so.
Let's have a look. Right, so we've been shopping in, where do we go? Farm Foods
And Heron Foods.
and Heron Foods. Now, fish and chips can be quite dear now, especially if you're eating out. But you can buy them frozen, ready filleted things, can't you? And then buy some chips and do it that way. Or you can buy a ready meal. Now, we've got two ready meals here, folks. Let's have a look at this one first. Now, traditionally, it's not really fish, as you know, in a fillet form. It's fish fingers and chips. Now, this is supposed to be for two people. That's 800 grams. How much did we pay for that, Sharon?
£2. It says it on the front, £2.
And that come from?
Heron Foods.
Heron Foods.
Which I think is an absolute bargain.
It is a bargain. The proof is in the pudding, so to speak. The next one we've got is, again, our favourite, which is pie mash. And they do this Cook's pie mash there, as you can see. There is a
pie mash.
Where's my bit of paper, baby?
In Cook's. I don't know. I'm going to have a look. You keep talking.
Well, I can't cook because I ain't got a bit of paper.
You're still talking,
Stuff I want to say is on the paper, Sharon. So this Cook's is spelled C-O-O-K-S. It says it's a traditional British classic pie and mash with herb liquor, a traditional East End London favourite. Now, because it's an East End London favourite, that doesn't necessarily mean that this has come from the East End. So let's have a little look at the nutrition and the contents of the actual pies themselves. Well, it's saying there we've got 38% minced beef, it's wheat, flour, vegetable shortening. Now, this is the thing I don't think you'll get in a traditional pie mash. In here, they're using palm oil and also rapeseed oil and also margarine. So there's quite a lot of things in there which I don't really want to be eating. And if you make them at home, or if you make them like the traditional way, they never use them ingredients. So that's just one thing to bear in mind as well. Those are not the sort of oils that I want put in, but you will get them in most mass-produced processed foods, folks. Anyway, let's take a closer look at them. We'll get them out of the box and have a look. Right, okay, so let's have a little closer look, folks. This is the fish and chip meal for two.
Get the little escapee.
Yeah, put that one back in there. So let's just pull it out. Now, how many fish fingers you get in there, Sharon?
I'll tell you what, I'll get a plate to put them on, where the silicone thing to put them in.
So we're going to be doing these in the air fryer, folks. So let's just count these fish fingers out. Don't forget, this is for two people, Sharon, isn't it?
So you got a good 16.
There's a good 16
That's
fish fingers there.
each.
Eh?
8
each. So now that's a meal on its own, Sharon.
Yeah. And you got all them chips, which is a lot of chips.
Yeah, it's quite a few there. So anyway, let's put these in the air fryer, folks. We'll get these cooking, then we'll have a look at the pie mash. Right, so we're just going to drop them chips in one of the bowls of our Ninja AF400. And we're just leaving them ones in that silicone container. Now, technically speaking, I personally think there might be quite too many in there, but we'll cook them in there anyway, and we'll move them about. So
we'll turn them halfway.
Yeah, we'll turn them halfway or whatever. So we'll take them over now. Right, so we're going to use the sync function on this, folks, because we've got two different cooking times there. The chips are going to cook, or the fries are going to cook a hell of a lot quicker than the fish fingers. So we'll put them on 180 degrees for 10 minutes. Then we're going to press the second basket, which holds the fish fingers.
Which is air fry
We're
again.
putting that on air fry, and we're changing the temp down to 180 again, and we're putting them on for 15 minutes. So what should happen when we press the middle button?
Hello?
The longest ones will start cooking first, and that's held off until it gets down to the 10 minutes, so they should both finish at the same time. And it's that simple.
Yeah.
Right, so the pie and mash itself comes in a tray with everything separated. You've got the pie, you've got the liquor, and you've also got the mash there. That is one portion of each. And it says on here, conventionally, you can microwave it or cook it in the oven. So if it will go in the microwave and it'll also go in a conventional oven, that means it will be able to go in the air fryer as well, which basically is just a small oven. So the times here for the oven, now don't forget these are cooking from frozen, which we haven't done, we've defrosted ours. So it says cook in a preheated oven, so you've got to heat your oven up first at 200 degrees centigrade for 41 minutes. Now we're not going to be cooking that nowhere near 41 minutes, but we are going to be leaving it in the container because the container is obviously oven proof. Some takeaway meals aren't oven proof in these containers, but do check, and also check that it fits in your air fryer. We're going to possibly take the film off, folks, because don't forget the pie is probably already cooked and we'll cover it in silver foil. Only because this has started to come away there, and we've had it before when we've done the ready meals where it says just pierce the surface.
Don't let it blow up and get on your...
That will go up and blow on your element, and it causes smoke and whatever. So we're actually going to take that completely off.
Get the oil out, the foil out.
We'll get some silver foil, cover it and wrap it round so that it goes underneath so it won't blow up, and then we'll cook that in the air fryer. Right, okay, in it goes, and as you can see, it falls in there, folks. So the Dual Blaze is one of the biggest trays out there. So, so 200 for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yep, we'll check that.
Yeah.
So we'll try that, folks, see how that works. Right, so just coming over to the fish and chips. Wait till it counts down, and you'll see that one start to operate once it gets down to 10 minutes, because we put them on for 10 minutes, folks. There we go. Now that one's coming. They're both cooking at the same time, and hopefully should both finish at the same time. But we will just have a look at our fish fingers, because we're going to probably need to turn them. So let's take them out. Let's go over to the worktop. So that's the bottom layer, folks. As you can see, they've not really cooked or coloured. They're in there. Don't forget, we could have had the crisper tray in there, but in our opinion, the crisper tray doesn't really do all what it's saying. So Sharon's just going to turn them ones over. Those are the ones that was on the top, and lay them on the bottom. And we're leaving some air between them this time, folks, as you can see. Look, we're just laying them in, just leaving a little bit of air between them, just so they can get a bit of air circulation. Even though the top ones are cooked, which are now at the bottom, and we can leave them, hopefully, it will finish together.
Hopefully.
So you will hear a lot of people up and down the country say they either love pie mash, hate pie mash, or they don't understand it, what it's all about. Well, pie mash is predominantly a London dish, which used to be served in by street traders back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and they used to sell pies because the Thames, London's on the Thames. The pies used to be filled with eels. They used to get the eels out of the Thames and put them in pies and sell them on trolleys, little market stalls or whatever. Obviously, when things got a bit better, they started filling them with mince, and then they started opening shops up and selling them from shops, and they used the eel juice to make the liquor. They don't do that now unless it's a really old traditional one.
Fish stock now, isn't it? I think
they can use fish stock now, yeah, but a lot of them don't even use that. So depending on how traditional your pie mash is, depending on where you go. I mean, we've been to a few. We've been to Armand's, which is one of the more famous ones. That was opened in 1914. Manz's, which is again an early turn of this last century one, which is 1902. And then Goddard's, which is a little bit earlier, which is 1890, that one was established. But the Cooks at Farm Foods, I don't think that's been around for that long, Sharon, is it? You know, it's just a
1946.
Yeah, but that's Kershaw's, that's the company.
They're the ones that make it, aren't they?
Yeah, but Kershaw's do a lot of frozen foods and stuff like that. Whether or not that's been around for that length of time, I don't really think it has. They probably just capitalised on the old London food, whatever. So you will find different brands. But no, I grew up with it. I remember being probably about 6-8 months old and going to this building with some steps going up
Harrington's, wasn't
and that was
it?
Harrington's in, I think it was Wandsworth Road?
Was it Wandsworth Bridge Road?
It might have been Wandsworth Bridge Road, one of the two. But it's no longer there. But they still got a Harrington's in Tooting. Quite a few of you probably know that one. We've been there many, many times. But yeah, so do check them out, folks. And we won't be judging this against that. We're just judging this as a cheap meal, which is probably reminiscent of a pie mash, and that fish and chips isn't really fish and chips, but I'm surprised with the amount of fish fingers.
I can't believe actually how many fish fingers are there for.
Anyway, we've got to be
people.
very near now. I can see 2 minutes left on that one, 3 minutes left on that one, and 5.5 minutes left on that one. So the pie mash should be finished first. Right, folks, the pie mash is just finished. Now we haven't checked this at all, obviously, but I presume it's going to be hot enough because it's actually bubbled up, Sharon, isn't it?
Hopefully, yeah.
So we'll get that out. So Sharon's just gloving up for the operation. We just lift that out, folks. We'll put that down there. Let's get that out of the way. Right, just pull that back, Sharon. Again, minding not to spill the liquor here, folks. Now, again, we don't know whether it's cooked. Let's pull that back. So let's just give it a little probe, Sharon. Put it in the pie. Right, well, that's not hot enough. Just try the liquor. Yeah, so the silver foil has actually prevented quite a lot of the cooking, Sharon, hasn't it? Just try the mash. Yeah, we're up to about 30 degrees there, which isn't hot enough, folks. So we're going to put that back into the air fryer, and we're going to put that in for another 10 or so minutes, say 10 minutes. And we'll keep an eye on it because we'll see the pastry will be crusted otherwise. And put it on for another 10 minutes, folks. But we will keep an eye on it. So that's one thing to note there, folks. If you put silver foil on, it can make the cooking time a hell of a lot longer. So just be aware of that. Don't forget that wasn't frozen at all. That's been in there for 10 minutes on 200 degrees centigrade, and it was only sort of lukewarm. Anyway, that's just a learning curve. Okay, folks, here's the second 10-minute cycle now. Let's just pull this out and have a look. Well, the pie looks a little bit darker on top. Let's just check the temperature. Coming from that way, look. There you go, folks. Gone over 70 degrees C now, so we know the pie is now cooked. We know the liquor's cooked. Let's just get that bit of a stir up. That's up to 74 degrees there. Also, the mash is up to 80 degrees, so we know that's well cooked. So we needed an extra 10 minutes there with the lid off, baby, didn't we?
We sure did. Might not have took as long if we didn't put the foil on.
So we'll just get that out now. Sharon's going to get her gloves out, and then we'll plate it up for you, folks. And as you can see, this container didn't melt at all. They are oven ready, these ones. If they say they can be cooked in the oven, then they're okay. Right, Sharon's going to dish that up. Right, okay, folks, let's take a closer look at it. Okay, Sharon, let's have a cut into it. Let's have a look. Cut it down the middle. We just want to see what's inside these pies, folks. Pull it open.
Okay.
Well, they seem to be well filled with mince, don't they?
It smells nice, I must say.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look too bad, folks. So, you go in first, Sharon. You have a little taste first. Now, we're going to go without putting the salt and vinegar, pepper and vinegar on at the moment, folks. So, she's got a bit of liquor there, a bit of mash. You got a Full Metal Jacket, Sharon. What's that like?
Bland.
Bland? Really? Oh, I've got to have a go at this, folks. What's your fault, baby? Spin that round because I'm left-handed, you see. You said it's bad. I'm going to go for a bit of middle pie.
Pastry's nice.
Yeah, it
Got
looks
a little
nice.
bit of a crunch.
Well, it all
on
looks
that one.
nice, Sharon. I'll give you that. It does look nice. Let's have a little go. Put everything together.
The pie's the best thing there.
Let's have a go. Full Metal Jacket, folks. It's pie mash, but not as we know it. Isn't it?
I could just really taste the pie, can't taste
Right.
nothing else.
I agree with Sharon. There's not much flavour there, but from someone who knows what pie mash is like. But let's have a go with the old,
Chili
put the
vinegar.
old chilli vinegar on, because I normally do drown it, Sharon, don't I?
You've got to.
Yeah. Right, bit of that. We normally have white pepper with it, so we put a sprinkle of that on there as well,
Feels
Sharon.
better already.
Right, go on in you go again. Right now, that's what we normally have it with, folks. I can smell the pepper, and that's bringing it back to me now.
100 times better already.
Is it really? Just shows you. Sometimes, now you could say that, oh, you don't need to season your food. Well, it's a traditional thing with pie mash. So let me have another go with that now.
It's nowhere near as good as the real thing,
No. But it will do as
it needed that chili vinegar and pepper.
Right. Let's have a little go again. You're right, Sharon, that was a lot better. That is, what will I say, a budget pie mash. You can't beat the real thing. Don't forget,
The pie's very nice.
the pie's actually, well, what makes it nice, Sharon, is that it's got that, it's more like
It's not
short
like
crust.
It's not like a pie and mash pie.
It's not like a pie mash
No.
pie. So if you're looking for an imitation, then it's not the one. But for £2.75, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it because of the money it cost.
Can I just say?
What?
I'd rather get the train down to London.
Oh yeah, but also,
Go pie
Sharon,
and mash.
you can order it online.
Yes.
So we're using the almonds vinegar there. We have got a separate vinegar here. That's a chili vinegar, which you can buy as well. And we've also got a bottle of Manz's vinegar there. Now this is the chili vinegar, and it's also got the chilies in there. So
That's got the chilies in it as well.
oh, did it have it? I didn't see them in there. Oh,
Yeah.
there is a couple in there. Sorry, yeah, I didn't see them in there. So anyway, while Sharon's finishing that bit off, I'm going to get the fish fingers out and the chips, meal for two, and let's see what that looks like. Well, while I've been dishing this up, folks, she's eaten all the bleating pie mash, hasn't she? So it must have been all right with that salt and pepper on and vinegar. So anyway, let's take a closer look at this. Right, 2 meals of fish fingers and chips, and there's 8 fish fingers on each plate, folks. So let's just have a little go, baby. I've got a plate, you've got a plate. I'll tell you what, we'll leave that one there, because we give that one to our builder next door. He's doing some work in the other kitchen, so we'll leave that one there. Right, fish fingers and chips. The fries are crispy. We did put the fries on for a bit longer, Shell, because we turned them over a bit more, didn't we? But again, depending on your air fry, depends on how long you put them on for. Crispy?
I prefer a chunky chip myself to the fries.
It's the nature of the beast, Sharon.
But £2, I'm not moaning.
So let's have a look inside these fish fingers, folks. They're quite thin, but when you break them open, as you can see there, you've actually got some nice white fish in there. So you can't grumble at that. So shall we try half first? You can have that half. I'll try the smaller half.
Oh, it's not that bad. I was expecting the worst, to be honest with you.
The thing is, predominantly breadcrumbs. That's the most. You can taste the fish, but
I wouldn't moan at that for £2.
that's the thing you got to remember.
That's a filling meal.
That's £1 each. That is £2.
Put a few peas of it, you're laughing,
Right,
Hobbins.
get the vinegar out, yeah. Let's have a little go. Now, vinegar first, salt first. What do? Some people say when you put the salt on first and the vinegar on second, you wash the salt off. Some people say, no, you've got to put the salt on first. What I do, listen, I put the salt on. So I go salt, vinegar, and then salt again. Now the reason for that is, sure, you do wash the salt when you hit the vinegar on it, but it washes it down to the lower levels. And then by just gently salting again, you've reconstituted the salt on the surface again. So that might look like I'm putting a lot of salt on, but it's not. Our hole's blocked up, Sharon. Right, let's have a little go now.
Not a blocked hole.
Let's have a little go now.
Better.
That is all right.
Maybe a bit of ketchup.
Yeah, that's actually fish finger and chips. That's not bad at all. Well, you get what you pay for, I know, but
That's not bad.
cooking your own food's great, but sometimes you want something a bit cheap, or you may be strapped for cash.
And it's just handy sometimes to have these little ready meals in the freezer. If you're not well or somebody surprises you, you've got something on standby.
Anyway, not a normal type of video, folks. Homemade cooked is always the best, as we've always said.
Yeah.
But do give it a go.
Do you know what? I'll let you finish it off because I had the best meal there, pie
I can't
mash.
believe you get all the pie mash, folks. Anyway, we're going to go now. We'll see you in the next video. And until then,
Bye-bye.
bye for now. I can't believe you ate all that, Shan. I wanted half of that pie.
You spoke up, shouldn't you? You see me eating it. Give myself indigestion, I ate it so quick.